Not too loud. Live from the 100 votes per share Class F Common Stock Sweet 16th birthday party. It's your daily dose of greasy and delicious biz nuggets. That's Emma Lurking.
What?
He's Matt Moscardi. Today in our sodden bag, marked November 2nd, 2021, we have some Fibby sweet green salad, an unironic warning from a creepy tech titan, a bold new 2050 pledge, a giant musk nugget, and what else? I don't even know what else we have.
Oh, God, that sounds like too much. Let's just go.
Let's go. Some slight editing there as I speak because I'm realizing that Emma is she's lurking so hard today that she's not really even lurking.
She's not even here. That's it. She's outside the bounds of reality.
She doesn't laugh at my jokes anyway, so let's do this. Sweet Green repeatedly lied about being profitable. Restaurant chain Sweet Green filed to go public yesterday and revealed that it lost money in each year since 2014. However, Sweet Green co-founder and CEO and one of the heads in a three-headed dictatorship, Jonathan Neiman, said in a 2018 podcast that the company was profitable.
Oops.
Sweet Green also claimed to be profitable in 2018 and 2019 profiles by Forbes and Eater.
Whoops.
And the company told the New York Times that its 2019 revenue topped $300 million, and even though it was actually $274 million. Whatever.
Okay.
So what's the story with Sweet Green? Other than its perfectly average salads? Well, it has three co-founders, all three of whom attended Georgetown University's McDonough School of Business.
That's a thing.
All three of whom are directors. All three of whom are dudes.
Obviously.
All three of whom control 100% of Class B shares, which have 10 votes per share.
Yikes.
So here's everything you really need to know about Sweet Green in its own words. The dual class structure of our common stock has the effect of concentrating voting control with our founders.
It does.
Who have substantial control over us and will be able to influence corporate matters, including controlling the outcome of director elections. You got that? It's these three dudes. You are investing in three dudes. That's it. It's like you've gone to hell, and the only three ingredients on your perfectly average salad for the rest of eternity are some limp lettuce, a waxy cucumber, and a mushy tomato. So, if you are worried about the culture that is already lying about the company being profitable, then look no further than these three dudes. If there's one thing the pandemic has taught us, it is this. Do yourself a favor and just say no to all multiple class voting structures that result in dictatorships. They are simply not worth it anymore.
Now, a quick question, Damien, before I move on to the next story. The substantial control over us, does that mean the universal us? Is that everyone, or is that just the shareholders and the board?
A great question. Moving on.
Moving on. Quick billionaires rule update. Elon Musk took to Twitter in his latest bend the knee to the billionaires moment yesterday, tweeting that if the UN, quote, can describe on this Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will solve world hunger, that he would sell Tesla shares to donate the money. The amount would just be about 5% of Elon Musk's current net worth, and that 5% would solve world hunger. World hunger. That from a man who started manufacturing and selling flamethrowers as a joke in 2018, which netted him another $10 million in revenue for the Boring Company. Quick question for you, Damien. If the UN could not prove that the $6 billion would solve the problems of starvation, they cannot prove it, would you rather spend it on, number one, the yacht History Supreme, an actual yacht made out of actual gold that cost $4.5 billion? 2, Mazda, the entire car company, which market capitalization is less than $6 billion, hovering around $5.5 billion. Or 3, the entire country of Guam, which GDP is just under $6 billion. Which one should Elon spend his money on if he doesn't fix world hunger? What do you think?
That's easy. Guam. Let's go swimming.
The answer is in.
It's always Guam. The answer to everything is always Guam. Former Google CEO says Facebook's metaverse is not necessarily the best thing for human society and expresses concerns about safety of artificial intelligence technology.
What?
In other news from billionaires who are having second thoughts after having already amassed their fortunes while sounding completely unironic and disingenuous, and because I like saying the phrase human society, former Walmart CEO says Amazon's supply chain strategy is not necessarily the best thing for human society and expresses concerns about the role hyper-consumerism plays in climate change.
What?
Former McDonald's CEO says Burger King's menu is not necessarily the best thing for human society and expresses concerns about how its food is loaded with calories, sodium, and unhealthy fat. Former Chevron CEO says Exxon's horizontal drilling and hydraulic fracturing technologies are not necessarily the best thing for human society and expresses concerns about the safety of staring at the sun for too long.
Good point.
And finally, former Free Float Media CEO says Emma Lurking's failure to use her woke buzzer is not necessarily the best thing for human society and expresses concerns about safety of artificial lurking technology.
Oh, wow.
Bad day for that joke. Yeah.
That was not the best
No,
day.
Emma Lurking. Yeah.
Speaking of artificial lurking technology, in dystopia news, Business Insider is reporting that White Castle's burger flipping robot, Flippy, real thing, is getting an upgrade. A recent paper by MIT actually suggested that as many as 2 million jobs in the U.S. manufacturing sector alone could be lost to robots thanks in part to coronavirus, and that by 2025. However, we at Free Float Media think that's a vast underestimation. Or overestimation, rather. I personally overheard Flippy at a bar with Marty, the Stop and Shop robot, Marty, and Jarvis, the Grand Hotel robotic butler. And Flippy was offered a job as a vice president at Vanguard recently in the governance department. That's how much demand there is. So I'm not sure the robots are going to take those manufacturing jobs after all.
And in our last headline, we finally have a new target year to reach net zero. Are you ready, Matt?
I'm born ready.
India Prime Minister Narendra Modi surprised delegates at the COP26 Climate Summit with a bold pledge. The world's third biggest emitter will reach net zero by 2070.
Yay!
On Monday, the Indian leader backed up his 2070 net zero goal with more aggressive near-term targets. He raised India's 2030 target for low-emission energy capacity to 500 gigawatts from 450 gigawatts and pledged to produce half the country's electricity using renewable energy. To deliver on the 2070 goal, the country still has to lay out a detailed plan for the 40 years in between. Is that all?
That's it.
That's your big smelly bag of Biz Nuggets, November 2nd.
That was Damian Rollis. I am Matt Moscardi. Emma was lurking somewhere in a Palantir globe watching everything we do.
Strike one, Emma.
If you like anything about this, you should subscribe to the podcast. You should also subscribe to Woke Data. If you have a question or want some news highlighted, hit us at 872-FLOAT-72. Otherwise, we'll be back to you with more daily Biz Nugs coming at you tomorrow. Ciao.